realtors are modern day marketers. So if you're feeling like I don't want to do marketing, that's not something that I want to do, it's gonna make it harder for you to meet more clients in today's digital age. So I think that doing a great job with the transaction, in communication with your clients, making sure that you get them to want to work with you again for another transaction or referrals. Those things are really important, but also it's really important to get out there and have your name known in your community. And one of the best ways to do that these days is through Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, some of those different internet social media marketing sites.
So the question is this: how do most agents find the secrets to succeed in today's competitive real estate market, especially when the top agents are keeping those secrets to themselves? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. Hi, I'm Aaron Amuchastegui, and welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Hey, Real Estate Rockstars, it's Stephanie Heiser. I am guest hosting today, and I'm so excited to interview Toby Fernie from Monterey, California. He's here to tell us about his real estate journey and to give us lots of tips for starting a YouTube channel. So what's up, Toby? Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm a big fan of the show.
Awesome. Do you remember any of your favorite episodes?
Well, I mean, your episode was certainly one of my favorites, the one that you did
talking
about your first year in real estate. But yeah, I get lots of great information on here about new things to try, articles, new techniques, things to look at, and just a lot of good motivation to keep going as a real estate agent if things are slowing down a little bit, or if transactions are not going smoothly. So I get a lot of great advice and information learning from other realtors.
I love it. And I agree with you. I really, really love hearing the stories of other agents' first years. A lot of times it's like, oh, I sold 2 houses. And now, everyone's thinking whoa, how did they do so much? But the first year was rough, or maybe their third year was rough. So I love, love, love hearing everybody's stories. So let's get into it. What was your first year of real estate like, and how and why did you end up in real estate?
So I started doing real estate in college. I studied at Boston College, and I did real estate back then to try to help pay my way through school. And so I did real estate for about 5 years in Boston while I was studying at Boston College. And then also I was a teacher for almost a decade. So I was doing real estate the first 2 years that I was teaching in Boston. It was primarily rentals, working with a lot of students or young professionals who were renting in the Boston area. And then I moved back into real estate full-time here in Monterey, California, around 5 years ago. So that is when I started doing sales. So I think I kind of consider that, the second time around getting my license here in California and moving into sales. I would consider that my first year in real estate and doing it full time. And my first year was definitely a struggle. I only did 1 sale in the first 6 months, only 5 sales in my first year. So it definitely took me some time to figure out strategies, techniques, ways to be successful and get clients who are interested in working with me.
Were a lot of those closings your first year people you knew? Was it random people?
Yeah, so I didn't have that big of a sphere of influence when I moved out to Monterey. I taught at an elementary school in one of the suburbs of Monterey, my first year being here. So some of them were, former colleagues, friends, referrals in my first year. My first 6 months, I was actually doing cold calls. So that was how I got my first sale. Not something that I would necessarily recommend doing because it was a lot of time invested and only resulted in one sale. But that was kind of how I started out, working with teachers and working with friends and referrals is what I started doing. But seeing as I don't know too many people in the area, I grew up in Ohio and then lived in Boston and lived out of the country for around 6 years. So I had a pretty small sphere here in Monterey, no family that live in the area. So I realized that was something that I'd have to really figure out some strategies to expand if I was going to make this a full-time career.
So your first year you did 5 deals. How many did you do your second year?
My second year, I doubled my sales. So I went from 5 sales to 10 sales. And Monterey is an interesting place in the fact that the year that I started doing real estate, there were 1,400 home sales and 1,500 realtors. So, I'm not a mathematician, but if you look at the math there, those aren't great numbers. That means that the average realtor is doing 0 to 1 sale a year. And then also if you factor in that the most successful agents here are probably doing 15 to 30 sales a year. I think, there's 10% of the realtors here that do about 90% of the transactions.
Yeah, I think that's true probably in most markets. And what did you do to differentiate yourself?
Well, I really started working with the teacher angle, being a former teacher, and then I got connected with Monterey Schools. I knew the superintendent and the communications director at Monterey Schools, and I started doing a home buying seminar. So just a free informational seminar that I host with a lending partner of mine. Is a guy that I've done probably 30 transactions with over the last couple of years. He helped me purchase my first home. So it's a guy that really knows a lot of information about lending here in Monterey County. So he does everything mortgage at the seminars. And then I go into information about the benefits of home ownership, what's it look like to put in an offer, the escrow time period, negotiations, closing table. I go over all that sort of information. Then he goes over the pre-approval process, again, talking about the benefits, increasing rent and then also, getting that set mortgage.
What is your average price point in Monterey now?
So that's changed a lot over the 5 years that I've been doing real estate here. My first year, I was primarily working with people that were, just barely able to get into the market. It's one of the most expensive counties in the most expensive state when it comes to real estate. And, working with a lot of teachers and young professionals, it was people that were kind of, getting some of the more affordable neighborhoods, the surrounding areas to Monterey. So my first year, my average price point was just under $500,000, which I know probably sounds like a lot to some listeners, depending on which market you're in. But the average home price sale in my first year in Monterey was just over $1 million. So I was doing, right around half of the average price point. And then over time, and a lot of, part of what I'm here sharing and talking about is just the benefit that I've seen from adding YouTube to my real estate business. And so adding that in, my last year, the average price point that I had was $950,000. So, through marketing and social media and YouTube, I've been able to, almost double my average price point, and then almost, double my average sales on a yearly basis too.
That's awesome. So when you started YouTube, how did you know where to start and what to do? And I struggle with the actual setup and technicalities of it all. I could talk for days and days about my opinions on real estate and on my town, but I have zero clue how to set my page up and maximize, I don't know even what you call it, the traction and, all the tedious little things that I think kind of paralyze a lot of us from starting it, aside from the fear of being on camera. So how did you learn all of that or get into setting up your page and get started?
So I thought of the idea. I actually saw an article from HomeLight, which if you're not familiar with that, it's a website that kind of collects information, data about real estate and real estate agents. And I saw that right around 2.5 years ago. And the article said that 53% of buyers are starting their search for their realtor on YouTube, which was pretty surprising and shocking to me to hear that it was that number of people. And the article also said that 73% of sellers are interested in working with agents who are incorporating video. So I started doing a little more research into it and looking into some of the analytics and information on YouTube to try to figure out, why this might be the case. I'm somebody who goes to YouTube for a lot of different reasons. If I'm traveling somewhere and want to learn restaurants or traveling tips or things to do in certain places, my house that I bought is a fixer-upper. So if I'm looking for home renovation projects, recommendations for painting or plumbing, electrical, things like that, there's a lot of great experts and people who know good information on YouTube. So I started looking into it further, and there's over 2 billion active users on YouTube. And by active, it's the number 2 search engine, owned by Google, the number 1 search engine. And so those people that are on there are searching it on a daily or weekly basis. And the majority of people who are going onto YouTube are people that have questions. So they're trying to find information. It's a learning source when it comes to a social media platform. And so I just decided, all right, I'm going to start making some videos. At the time, I was filming just on the camera that I had on my laptop. I didn't have microphone. I didn't have lights. I didn't really have a good setup, and just kind of trial and error. So it took me a long time. My initial videos were absolutely horrible. The sound was off, the lighting was off. I was uncomfortable, didn't know what to say in front of the camera. But it was just like everything else. It's a skill. So it was a learning process, something that took me some time. And I would say, probably took me at least 6 months to feel comfortable making videos. And now I've been doing it for over 2 years, right around 2.5 years. I've made close to 130 videos. My channel is pretty close to becoming monetized, which is when you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in a year. So really just something that I've learned and built. And in order to help share information about how to create a YouTube channel and give people direction of how you get started, the best affordable gear to purchase, the best content to be putting out, how to get it in front of the most number of potential clients, I actually created a course to show realtors how you can get started and start your own YouTube channel. That's
awesome. So you saw a need for helping people get started, created the course. That's also a lot of work all in itself. That's really cool. And then I've definitely watched your YouTube channel, and I see not everything you do is all about real estate. One of my favorite videos was when you talk about the different things to do in Monterey. And I haven't been to Monterey in, I don't know, maybe 7 years. But that area is one of my favorite places in the country, especially in our state. So watching that video, I was just reminiscing, thinking about all the amazing places. And I have it on my to-do list to take my husband there because he's never been. We have to do the 17-mile scenic drive. We need to go golfing. We need to eat all the good food. So do you prefer doing real estate videos? Do you prefer doing just about town? What gives you the drive and passion to maintain your YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really try to separate my YouTube channel into 3 different categories. So the first category is kind of lifestyle information, what it's like to live in Monterey. So some of those, different videos that you mentioned, the top 10 best things to do, my favorite restaurants, hiking trails, some of the best scenic views in Monterey. That's kind of one category, and that might be information that could be helpful to somebody who's coming to town for a visit, tourists. So that is probably not going to get the most amount of views in front of potential interested buyers. So the second category that I put videos out are local real estate information. So once a week, I do what's new on the market, where I talk about the new homes that hit the market in Monterey County this week. Once a month, I do a market update, just talking about home sales, average price point, days on market. And then go over homes that are currently available on the market. So that's another category. It's going to be information specific to Monterey. My hope is that, getting the tourist information, that category lifestyle, that's going to get your channel in front of more people, then YouTube feels confident about recommending your video to a wider audience. So then when you have people who are searching for real estate information, or those people who looked at those initial videos that maybe do end up wanting to buy a house, or are somebody that lives here in the area, they've seen some of my other videos about lifestyle here in Monterey, so then they check out the real estate information too. And then the third category is just kind of national real estate news. So I'll share some information about, if rates have changed. So there's been a lot of rate change this year. My most recent video that I put out was a 3-2-1 temporary seller buy down. So just kind of talking about what that credit looks like, how you can get a lower rate, which is something that's been, holding back a lot of buyers this year, is just the higher home prices and the higher rates. So I do those three different categories. I would say that the real estate information for the local real estate market, those are probably the easiest and fastest videos to make. I film them here in my home office. You might recognize this backdrop if you're watching the video version of the podcast, because I have the same backdrop here. I do that from home. It probably takes me an hour in total to shoot the video, edit it, and post it. And then, the ones where you're out and about, I do try to get some scenes showing Monterey. If I'm doing a neighborhood comparison tour, if I'm doing a real estate video showing off one of my listings, those type of videos where you're driving to locations, filming, compiling different clips, those take a little bit longer. So it really just depends on the amount of time that you have to put in. But there's a lot of different ideas, options out there about how you can save time when creating videos. You could outsource your editing, which is the most timely component, time consuming component of creating videos. So a lot of different options out there. And then, I really try to share examples, ideas of videos that you could create in your market, so it helps save time. So it's not something, I know a lot of realtors feel like they're very busy and can't add something new. But, the number one thing that we have to do as realtors is try to, build new client acquisition. So if you're not doing things that are going to help get you in front of more potential buyers and sellers, it's going to be a difficult profession and career.
Hey, real estate rock stars. This is Aaron Muchastegi, and I'm interrupting myself to bring you this commercial break from one of our sponsors. There's somebody I've been looking at for a long time, and when they reached out to me, I said, yes, we have to be able to do this deal. So that sponsor is Follow Up Boss. There's a lot of superstars out there that use Follow Up Boss. What's your favorite CRM?
We're using Follow Up Boss.
We use Follow Up Boss.
So we use Follow Up Boss.
I love Follow Up Boss. I love it. We have action plans now for bringing on new agents. We have action plans for our recruiting.
We call them action plans in Follow Up Boss, which will trigger tasks for the agents to do as far as calling. Follow Up Boss I like more for the integrations with everything, MailChimp, Call Action, all those different products.
I will say we used Sync, and we switched from Sync to Follow Up Boss.
Honestly, the greatest CRM I've ever used. I've used Brivity, Sync. I've looked at Boomtown, like Real Geeks, just a bunch of different ones. But me personally, I fell in love with Fub about 7 months ago when I first started using it.
I've used Boomtown. I've used Line Desk. I've used Conversion. And I think Follow Up Boss gives you the most integrations that are simple, and it gives you the best ability to go and integrate large things into one single solitary platform. Yet at the same time, it's still affordable.
I do like Follow Up Boss better just because you can text from the app and things like that. It's just a little more convenient for me.
It tracks everything that I need. I can customize it if I want. If I want to go smart list based, that's fine. If I want to go task based, it's fine.
I think it's one of the best systems, and it's very user friendly.
It just really helps me never drop a ball because it's so user friendly.
I don't have a one horse in the race with Follow Up Boss. Purely objective, Follow Up Boss has been the best one that we've found.
Now, I've used Follow Up Boss. We've actually used it in our non-real estate businesses as well because it's so good at being able to set timers, set automatic texting and emailing. So here's what we got. For Real Estate Rockstars listeners, you get a 30-day free trial. That's normally 14 days. So in order to get this, you go followupboss.com, just like it sounds, /Rockstars. Go there, get your 30-day free trial, and check it out. Especially if you aren't using any systems or any CRMs yet, this will be a great one for you to start with. Thanks again. Now back to our show.
Well, what I like about YouTube and what I think about for my personal channel that I'm building out, I just have had all these ideas in my brain and just didn't execute. But I think it's super important to just be yourself and be real and be authentic and to do what you're passionate about. Like, I personally could not even handle just sitting at my desk and talking about real estate stuff for my channel. So my channel is geared towards things to do in Visalia, the different people in Visalia. What do we love about Visalia? What's going on in Visalia? And it's just, I don't know, something that I think and hope will bring me joy versus just sitting here talking about real estate to myself. I want to get out in the community and explore, and I love to be a connector and network and help people discover a new bakery in town or a beautiful park to go have a picnic. So my channel is going to be a lot less real estate focused, but I think that what's really important, and also, I mean, everything works if you do it your way and just run with it. So I love branding. I love consistency. I love keeping things efficient. And so Rochelle Edwards, the Genuine Realtor, she's on YouTube. All she uses is her iPhone and a gimbal, and she uses iMovie to edit. And her videos are amazing and in a very similar style to yours. And her thumbnails all have the same colors. Her Instagram, her stories, everything is branded with these beautiful colors. So we take it that far, but it doesn't I think so many people get wrapped up in what they're supposed to do and what it should look like versus just doing it. You've got to fail forward. I am so positive my first 100 videos I post are going to be crap, but you will just see the progress, hopefully, as time goes on. And I think a lot of people also give up before something new gets traction. So how many views did you have when you first started your page versus now?
Yeah, you bring up some really good points there. I think that you do need to stay consistent if you're going to do anything, in particular YouTube. So you want to make sure that you're doing something that you enjoy doing, something that you're going to be able to do on a consistent basis. I try to post once a week. I feel like trying to post more than that can feel a bit overwhelming and a lot of work. And I notice if some weeks I've posted twice in a week, and I noticed that the first video that I posted might not get as many views because my subscribers and people who watch my videos might only see that second video on their feed. So I think it's good to give your video a little bit of time for people who like your channel and people who come back to make sure that they see that video. And so if you prefer doing something that's around town or sharing information about where you live, I think you should really go forward with that. And you can put, your information in the description of your videos. You can put your information at the start and end of the videos so people know that you're a realtor and that they can reach out to you. And like you said, you're going to be around town meeting people. It's a great way to network. I created a video that was on one of my favorite restaurants in Monterey And it turns out that the owner, he hadn't purchased a home yet and was interested in purchasing a home. So he ended up becoming a client. So, there's a lot of different ways that you can, expand your YouTube channel and expand your, people that you know and people that know that you're a realtor. When I first started, I really didn't get too many views. I would say it probably took me a good 3 or 4 months to really start building some traction. YouTube is an algorithm, and their goal is to have people that stay on the platform as long as possible. So they want to know that you're a channel that's going to be around. They want to see that you're posting consistently, once a week, once every other week. And then they're going to start recommending your video out to a wider audience. So I didn't receive any phone calls from my videos for months. I think the first client that I heard from, it was 3 or 4 months until somebody called out and said, "Hey, I saw some of your YouTube videos and I'm moving to the area actually from Pennsylvania." And so he was my first client who I worked with from, that was a lead from the channel, and never met him in person. I went and did a video walkthrough of his property. And the first time that I met him was when he was moving to California with his wife, and I met him with keys at their house. So, it takes some time for you to build a following and people that are interested in watching your videos. But it's been around 2.5 years that I've been doing videos, and my channel has close to 140,000 views at this point. So, I think about the time invested, the money invested for receiving, views and clients and potential leads. I receive 2 to 3 high quality leads a week from my channel at this point. So, it took a while, but now I'm receiving, emails from a lot of relocations, people that are moving from other parts of the country. I have some clients that are in contract. They live in Japan. Same thing. I did a virtual walkthrough for their house. I have some clients who relocated to Monterey or in the military that were from the Middle East. So it's really just expanded the amount of people that know that I'm a realtor, and they come across my channel. They get valuable information about what it's like to live here and real estate information. So when they reach out, it's kind of like they already feel like they know you, and they've done their realtor interview. So a lot of times when people reach out to me, they're informed about the market. They've seen my market update videos. They know what the costs are. And then they feel like, rather than checking out different realtors and having conversations with those realtors, that they're interested in working with me directly as their realtor. And the last thing that you'd mentioned that, somebody that you follow on YouTube, that she does her videos from her phone. You can start a YouTube channel for absolutely free, and you can, create your videos from your iPhone. If you have some additional money to start up your channel, I have some videos, recommendations for starting your channel for under $1,000 or under $100. If you can get a gimbal or a stand to keep your video steady, microphone, lights, those things are great to include just to improve the quality of your video. But yeah, you can start your channel for free. And then there are a lot of easy to use, inexpensive editing programs out there like iMovie, or I use Wondershare Filmora. I think it was $95 for a lifetime subscription. So it's, an affordable way. It's pretty easy. I don't have a background in editing. So these are just some things that take a little bit of time to get used to doing.
Real Estate Rockstars, this is Aaron Amuchastegui. Thank you for letting me interrupt for a second. I've got something really, really important to talk about. You know how last year we kept talking about that mastermind? What is the mastermind? What are we talking about with that mastermind? Last May, there was like 60 or 70 people of you listeners that had never met, flew out to Austin, Texas. We all hung out at this awesome event center, and we spent a couple days with some great guest speakers talking about skills and strategies to succeed in real estate. And then we had these mastermind tables where everyone rotated, everyone got to meet everybody, everyone got to provide value. Some of the agents there had only done 1 or 2 deals ever. Some of the agents there had done hundreds of deals, and they all got to interact and help each other build their business and build their strategies. And I've heard so many stories of friendships that came from that, of referrals that have come from that. There were 6 or 7 people at that one that heard me talk about doing an Ironman, and we all did an Ironman together in North Carolina last month, and we had never even met before the podcast live. So It's been such a cool experience. I would love it for you guys to come. Days March 6th through 8th. Sign-ups right now. Go to hibandigital.com/mastermind. We also have a room block set up. It's 3 days, downtown Austin. Great, really cool hotel, really cool convention center that we're going to be hosting it. And we're going to get a chance I can't wait to meet you guys. I can't wait for you to meet other listeners. I can't wait for you to develop these new interactions. And really what we're last year was like, how do you make a business better? But the market was just starting to turn, and I was trying to give some people some advice of what to do when it was happening. Now it has turned. And this time we're going to be talking so much about how to pivot and what to do next. So again, I hope you sign up for the mastermind. Sorry for such the long advertisement, but I can't wait to meet you. hibandigital.com/mastermind.
And what camera do you use when you're out and around town?
So I have a couple of different videos or cameras that I use. So when I first started, I wanted to go kind of the affordable route. I wasn't sure if making YouTube videos was gonna work out. And then once I started doing sales and seeing that this was a good source for meeting clients, when I was doing sales, kind of each time that I do a sale from my YouTube channel, I'll buy some additional gear to make my videos a little bit better. So my first camera that I bought was a Canon M50. And that's a pretty affordable DSLR camera. I think it's maybe right around $500 or $600. And then I bought some cameras that allow for you to kind of be on the move. I do walking tours, biking tours of different neighborhoods. So I purchased a GoPro. So I'll use that for some of those tours. Eventually I bought a drone, which I use that for any of my listing videos. I want to have some aerial views of my listings. And then also I do neighborhood tours, so I'll include that in there to show some aerial views. And Monterey is right on the coast, so oftentimes I'll kind of highlight how close some of these different neighborhoods are to the ocean, or some of the preferred places to be in Monterey County. So I purchased that, and then I upgraded eventually to I have a Sony a7S III. So I upgraded my camera. That's the current camera that I use. It's a bit of a more expensive DSLR camera, but it's a really high quality video camera. And then I also purchased some other things like lights and microphones and stands, just to keep everything steady. But not all of these things are a requirement. I would recommend, if you're wanting to start a channel, you can start it for pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, I think that really, with everything around marketing and anything we can do to gain more clients, the main issue is execution. We have thoughts, we know the market. So many agents know more than they give themselves credit for, but you just have to go do it. Just fail forward, just figure it out. You're not on the top of mind of every single person all day long. If you drop your donut on your shirt, that just makes you more relatable. It's okay to not be perfect. And I think there's a huge need for transparency and for people to be real. And I keep thinking about a parody video I would make, because all these realtor intro videos are the same. The chick steps out of her sexy car with her high heels on. And of course, half the time they have the red bottoms, and look, I'm so successful. I step out slowly and gracefully from my car. No, I want to step out with my cheetah print Adidas, or my Chuck Taylors that I got embroidered with Real Estate Rockstars logo on the side of them. And I probably am just dropping my protein shake all over the place. And then I have 100 keys in my hand. So I wanted to show that, but I do have a cool car. So I'm a little bit corny on that end, but I love sexy cars and I love fast cars. So it's authentic. It's me. And I got it used at CarMax. So it's not I'm trying to be that cool. I just, I think a parody video and being real and being transparent is always the number one, most important thing. And I was trying to log into Video for Real Estate and see what some of the different chapters are, because I just started. When you told me the code for Rockstars, I signed up real quick, and started going through, because I am the very worst at execution. I've been thinking about having a YouTube channel for a year at least, and I have like notebooks of content. Plus, I'm a very opinionated person. So my brain is overflowing with content, but I just never freaking do it. And I hired a professional videographer to do my first few videos. I'm going out this week to film with a few different business owners that expressed interest on wanting to be on my channel. And I was like, but like, I haven't launched it and I don't know if anyone's ever going to see it. But I think that if you just fake it till you make it and you're like, yeah, it's going to be so awesome, get people jazzed about it. Like, you have to be jazzed about it yourself. But I'm like really, really excited to get out in the community and meet more entrepreneurs. But I just I could, pay someone to do videos for me. I can record on my iPhone, but just sitting down and actually editing is going to be the difficult part for me. So you told us the editing software you use. Is there anything you do to make it more efficient, or is there a way to have some discipline around just getting videos done and getting them edited and getting them posted?
Yeah, you brought up some really good points there as well. I think it's really important to be yourself and be authentic when you're making the videos, and you'll find things that you enjoy posting, and you can allow yourself to keep consistent with that. When it comes to workflow and the time invested with it, and some of the things that I go over in the course are just ways that you can block your schedule. I think time blocking as a realtor is really important. Sometimes it can feel like you wake up and you have your whole work day and you're not really sure how to focus your time, right? Being a realtor is not something where it's a 9 to 5 where you have to start work at a certain time and you have to stop. It's kind of like we work when we're busy. But also if you're not doing something, you don't have transactions, you can let a day get away from you and you didn't do anything that was productive or anything that's going to help build some additional clients or work for you. So something that I've found is that when I'm super busy, maybe I don't make as many videos. And then if there's a time where things have slowed down a little bit, then it allows for me more time to make more videos and more content. So I would recommend grouping your videos and trying to shoot a couple of videos at the same time. So if you have, it sounds like you have some really good ideas, some good content that you have set up. I'm really looking forward to seeing your channel and some of the videos that you make. I'm sure that they're going to be fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing once you've made those. But if you have, 3 or 5 ideas, right? I will make a script because it is kind of interesting how quick you are to forget what you want to say if you're making a video. If you don't have direction or at least an outline, it can kind of be difficult for you to stay on topic and on task. So I usually write out a script of what I want to say. I'll read it a couple of times out loud before I start shooting the video. And then you could shoot 3 or 5 videos, change your outfit, change your shirt. So it looks like you shot those videos at different times, but you can shoot 3 to 5 videos. And then, so you're doing those videos back to back. And then later on in the week, you could take those videos and you could edit them. So, kind of you have a day where you're in your thinking stage, your planning stage. You could have a day where you're in your filming stage, and then you could have a day where you're in your editing and uploading stage. So, a lot of very successful people with YouTube channels do that kind of workflow where they're, shooting several videos in a day and then they're editing them at a later time. Or if you want to send those out to an editor, if you're a realtor that's really busy, then you can allow yourself more time for doing the transactions and for creating more content. There's some people that I follow on YouTube that are, very busy, very successful realtors, kind of like Ryan Serhant from $1 Million Listing, people like that are very successful realtors that are selling, hundreds of millions of dollars a year in real estate. And they know how important it is to be out there and marketing, right? Realtors are modern day marketers. So if you're feeling like I don't want to do marketing, that's not something that I want to do, it's gonna make it harder for you to meet more clients in today's digital age. So I think that doing a great job with the transaction, communication with your clients, making sure that you get them to want to work with you again for another transaction or referrals. Those things are really important, but also it's really important to get out there and have your name known in your community. And one of the best ways to do that these days is through Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, some of those different internet social media marketing sites.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot that YouTube Shorts is like the new thing. And I personally just get overwhelmed and exhausted. And I don't think I could ever just try to keep up with algorithms and doing what is trending or what's cool. Like I will never be on TikTok or Instagram, like doing some trending audio pointing to captions on the screen. Like that's not my jam. But I do love providing like value and like just helping anyone and everyone anywhere with anything. But I think that having focus and having time blocks, like you said, will help whether you're doing YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is you're doing. But you have to get out there. Like you are a marketer. And I want to give like a shout out to Oliver Bohr, who runs In a Box. That's, it's a scale engine. It's literally every single thing you could ever possibly need. And we have a CRM through them that has more features than some standard CRMs. But the best part is that like we have weekly coaching calls, and this week we were doing our planning for next year, and everybody mentioned that they wanted to do YouTube. So then I get scared and think, oh my gosh, everyone's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be like Instagram. It's going to be super oversaturated. But if you're in a town where people relocate to that city, if that's like, for me, relocation clients is kind of my niche, whatever, because a lot of our great agents in Visalia grew up here. Their families have been here for generations. They know everyone all around the community. I work in 2 separate markets, 5 hours from each other. So for me, like relocation and short-term rental investors are like my thing. But really, people are moving so much right now. I think most of them are moving out of California. So for us, we'd probably do better if we were in Tennessee or Texas. But I thought it was cool that you mentioned that you've had a lot of clients that you have met when you're giving them the keys because they saw you on video. You built know, like, and trust. And now they're trusting you to go pick their house for them, like through virtual tours, and you meet them in person. But I'm sure when you meet them in person, it doesn't feel like you're meeting a stranger.
Yeah, I've gotten that feedback a couple of times, which is funny. People saying, I feel like I already know you just from your videos when I meet people for the first time. And a lot of the people who I've worked with, have been from out of the area, but a lot of them do come in town to see the houses with me. I think I've only done 3 transactions that were all virtual. But to your point, in terms of, how saturated things like YouTube are, I've found that there's very few realtors on YouTube in comparison to some other options out there. If you look at something like Zillow, I think every single realtor in Monterey is on Zillow. I don't show up until the 21st page of Zillow. And, I don't think anybody's scrolling to the 21st page to find their realtor. And, those sites also are very expensive when it comes to being somebody who ranks on there. The first year that I started doing real estate, I was working on a team, and they were paying for Zillow leads. And I was getting, calls from people that were looking for $200,000 houses in neighborhoods where the least expensive home was over $1 million. So it was people that were kind of home shopping. They didn't really know too much about the real estate market, and they were just kind of fishing out there and getting information. So it was a lot of leads that I felt were things that were time consuming, but that wouldn't necessarily lead to something that was realistic. And I think it was $1,000 a month, or it might have even been more, to be on the most affordable neighborhood, to be one of the realtors who ranks on Zillow. And that was 5 years ago. And it was even more expensive if you wanted to rank in some of the luxury markets here. So, you could be spending tens of thousands of dollars a year on some of these other sites, whereas YouTube is completely free. And if there are other realtors in your market who are on YouTube, that's actually not a bad thing, because if you create a video that's about your 5 favorite neighborhoods, or the pros and cons of living in your town, or the cost of living, those type of videos, if somebody has found a video from another realtor, YouTube will then put your video up on their suggested videos on their feed. So the next time they come around, they may come across your video. And I tend to think that there's a realtor out there for everyone. So there's, if somebody watches 3 videos, they may really connect with you from your video, or they may connect with one of those other realtors. But, just having your channel up there, having good searchable terms, clickable thumbnails, things, that's the front image on your video, things that are going to attract people to come across your videos. And I go over all these different things in the course for how you can make sure that your videos, the time that you're putting in, those are things that are going to result in a lot of views and potential clients.
I think for me, again, because I just am obsessed with branding and bright colors and consistency, I purchased a thumbnail package from Etsy. So there's a bunch of designs already done. So all I have to do is change, the words, the font, and everything there is for me. It looks super cool. And I think thumbnails are important and, grab the attention. And then also, Etsy is my go-to when I just want Canva templates or something to just save my time and energy. And I'm horrible at graphic design and anything design and art related. I don't know. Sometimes I can figure that stuff out. And I actually did own a pottery clay, hand building little business before. But other than that, I super suck at art. So Etsy is my lifesaver for saving me time and just having, I have 5 different images to choose from. It's all the same color scheme, which is the colors that match my logo. And I plan to just use those and just have a system. Everything needs to be efficient in my world, or I just can't wrap my brain around it. So are there any other tips for efficiency or any last ideas you want to give us before we all go out and start our YouTube channel?
Yeah, there's a lot of really helpful resources out there these days. Like you mentioned, Canva is great, and I'll use that, and you can save your projects on Canva. So if I do a monthly real estate update, you can just change around the text that's on there to change the month. You can change the photo of yourself that you have on there for your thumbnail. I use something called Snappa as well. It's Snappa. And so that is something that you can use for your thumbnails. It's also something you can use for your banner, which is the background on your YouTube channel. Etsy is great as well. So there's a lot of different helpful resources that are out there. And the course that I have is broken down into 5 different modules. There's 50 lessons on there, and I'm constantly adding them. I get people from the course who reach out to me. You'll have my email address, phone number, and I'm helpful with questions that people have and can troubleshoot if you're having any issues on there. But the course, broken into 5 different modules. The first one is how to make your first video. So breaking down the gear that you'll need to purchase, affordable options, The second module is all about the editing process. So what that looks like, or how you could outsource your editing if you want to. And then there's 2 modules that talk about different content. So recommendations of the type of videos that you can create, which will get in front of the most amount of potential clients. And I have sample videos, scripts, outlines that will help you go ahead and get started on that. And then the last module is how to get your information, your videos distributed out there in front of the most amount of people. So it's a way that you can, be successful on YouTube. It'll give you a head start, give you some direction of ways to get started on YouTube. Whereas I was kind of just figuring all this stuff and like you said, failing forward for the first, year that I was on YouTube. So, whether you check out the course or not, I would really encourage everybody to get on YouTube. It's kind of been the one thing that has saved my real estate career, if you will, and helped me to become a top producer here in Monterey County. So I would encourage you to get started on YouTube. The course, if you're interested in checking it out, is video4 with the number 4 realestate.com. And then I actually have a promo code for all the Rockstar listeners out there. When you sign up, there is a promo code and you put in Rockstar, all lowercase and no S, and that'll get you a 10% discount off the cost of the course.
And how much is the course?
So the course is right now, I think it's $299. I'd have to double check. I think it's listed for $299. I tried to make it as affordable as possible. I want as many people to have success with their YouTube channel, and hopefully it'll be something that will be able to build more clients for you. It's something that I would say has changed my real estate career, and it's really been kind of a snowball effect, whereas, I've gotten some great connections through YouTube and also more referrals. So it's kind of like if you get a sale from, any stores really, whether it's, YouTube or somewhere else, those things kind of tend to snowball and allow for you to get some more sales and things going in your pipeline.
Awesome. So I started the YouTube course. I tested the code. It works. And I think it was like $297. I think I ended up paying like maybe $270 out of the gate, which I thought was super reasonable. And I've been trying to be better at documenting my progress. And I have shared like screenshots of going through the courses, but I'm going to keep documenting. And if you want to check out my YouTube, it's just Visalia Love. I don't know what's going to happen, how it'll turn out. But if nothing else, just check it out and see that you can do a much better job than I can. And I think there's space for everyone. And everyone knows how to find me. They've heard me say Steph Heiser does real estate a million times. They know all about Visalia Love. So where can they find you?
I tried to make all of my social media, my website, everything just easy to find. And another, tip or recommendation that I would have, I love the name of your channel because it includes the name of your town in there. So, come up with a channel name and video titles that are easy, that are searchable, that are things that people are interested in finding out about. So everything, my YouTube, my Facebook, my Instagram, my website, all of them are living in Monterey, California. And you can find me on LinkedIn as well. Love to share referrals with other realtors in different markets. So, if you have any questions or if you want to even see some examples of video ideas, you can certainly check out my channel, Living in Monterey, California.
All right, real estate rock stars, this is Aaron Muchastegui jumping in again to thank you for listening to the show. Hopefully you guys loved listening to that one. And I want to make sure that you know about all of the extra resources that we have. And also, we need your help. They say podcasts are free. You get to listen to podcasts for free. But what is the cost of that podcast? I would say if I could beg you to pay anything for that podcast, I would say the cost of the podcast is going and giving a review. So whether you download it on Google or Apple or YouTube or anywhere else, please go give us a review. Say what you liked, what you didn't like. It helps us get better guests. The more reviews, the higher we get in the rankings. Right now, we are the biggest podcast out there for real estate agents, and we want to keep that spot because we know there's lots of podcasts out there. So go give us a review. Also, be sure to go to hibandigital.com. If you liked any of the resources that those real estate agents talked about, we've got a huge video vault of those resources for free. Every penny that comes on the podcast that we interview, they give us something that helps them get their deals or helps them work with their clients. And we put that in the toolbox in our vault for you. So go to hibandigital.com and you can get it. If you're looking for real estate education, go to rebusuniversity.com. We have all sorts of courses in there to help agents succeed in real estate, how to get the listing, how to negotiate deals, how to become an investor, all sorts of different stuff, rebusuniversity.com. And if you want to chat with me, go find me on Instagram. And if you come find me on Instagram, you can send me messages. Tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. We try to put a bunch of content out there too. You can find me in 2 different places. It's at rerockstars.com for our Real Estate Rockstars page, or at aaronamuchastegui.com for my personal Instagram page, where I can chat with you about all sorts of different things. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again soon.